Paper Towns by John Green. So basically the story takes place in Orlando, Florida. And it is about two teenagers who are in their senior year of high school, and their names are Quentin Jacobson and Margo Roth Spiegelman. Quentin Jacobson, who is also known as Q, is in love with Margo since the moment he saw her, but there's a little problem. They belong in two completely different worlds. She is a popular kind of girl, while Q is a little bit of a nerd. However, during their childhood, they used to be best friends and go on adventures together, as well as play on the streets of their neighborhood. But just like any friendship, as years passed by, they became complete strangers and they no longer talked at all. Until this one night when Margo shows up at Q's window dressed in black and asks him to go along with her to quote-unquote solve some problems that she has with her ex-boyfriend and her ex-best friends. Although Q hesitates at first to go with Margo, he ends up accepting and together they go to Becca's house, who by the way is one of Margo's ex-best friends, and they became ex-best friends because Margo caught her boyfriend cheating with Becca. Together, they also break into their enemies' houses and leave an M as a mark that they were there. The next day, Q was expecting things to be a little bit different after that night since he thought that they were getting along pretty well. However, Margo doesn't show up to school and a few days later her parents start saying that she is gone. Something that has happened before, so they are not very surprised about it. Q is convinced that Margo has left some clues in order for him to find her, and he decides to follow them. The last one of them being a map that indicates a paper town that seems to be called Agloe and apparently is in New York. Quentin convinces his friends Ben and Raider and Margo's best friend, who is Lacey, to go along with him to find her. They travel 24 hours from Florida to New York, and throughout the trip they find out many things about each other and seem to get along better than ever. When they arrive to Agloe, they find Margo, who was living in an abandoned barn. Lacey attempts to talk to Margo, but her response is very rude towards her and Q as well. Q ends up finding out that the clues he thought that were meant for him were not for him, nor were they clues that Margo left for Quentin or anyone in particular. Margo decides to stay because she didn't want to go back to her parents. However, Q leaves very disappointed and sad because of Margo. Although they are both in love with each other, It is clear that they both have different goals in their lives, so they decide to go opposite ways, just as it had always been.